Recently, students, especially from the tertiary institutions, have been facing so many challenges, including arrest, suspension, and dropping out of schools. Today, we are joined by one of the students' leaders, Mr. Darlington Chigwena, to talk about these issues and what they are planning to do to make sure that students are rescued from this quagmire. Mr. Darlington Chigwena, thank you so much for joining us at Sly Media TV. We want to understand some of these challenges that the students have been facing, and as the leaders, what have you been doing?
Well, thank you so much. It is very conspicuous that there are some obstacles that are delaying the progress of students in their learning. Are unable to have access to due to some variety of obstacles or challenges that are barricading them to have access to education. And one of the big issues that is delaying the progress of the students in their education is the issue of fees. And the matter of fees is the big elephant in the room. Why? Because many students are unable to pay their tuition fee because the fees, which was exorbitantly hiked by the institution, is unaffordable and also inaccessible. It is so surprising, and it puzzled us to hear the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Mr. Murwira, justifying the exorbitant or astronomical fees which were hiked, that yes, the universities are not for free. The students are supposed to pay. Yes, we can agree with him that the students are supposed to pay their tuition fee. Nevertheless, it is constitutionally ratified that though the students are supposed to pay for their tuition fee, yes, they are supposed to pay because the Constitution says in Section 75 that education must be affordable. So if it is supposed to be affordable, it means that the students should pay, but their payment should be affordable. So by the fact that numerous students are dropping out of their education, it clearly indicates that education has ceased to be affordable and accessible, and it becomes a greatest problem to the future of the students. And we are witnessing that the future of the students is being urinated in our site. Then the other issue is the issue of suspension of students, most likely at the University of Zimbabwe. We have witnessed the 7 students who were disqualified for no justifiable reason. And one of them is Forward Mutetwa. He sent me the allegations that he is facing, that he created some WhatsApp groups with the University of Zimbabwe logo. And also he is being accused for disseminating information on behalf of the university without its permission. That's why they want to suspend him. Nevertheless, there is no concrete evidence that clearly substantiates the allegations that he is facing. Also, that is not a matter that can make a student to be expelled from the university. So we are seeing injustice happening in our institution, and we don't tolerate such kind of sinister acts. Also, the issue of fees, going back to the issue of fees, we are seeing that students are paying fees, and that fees is not corresponding with the services that are being provided in those tertiary institutions. Point number 1, students are paying for internet data. But we are seeing that at the University of Zimbabwe, the Manfred Hudson Hall, there is no even a single router there. But students who stay at that hostel, they are paying for internet data. Also, going to Faculty of Law, students who do BLS, Bachelors of Law, Bachelors of Substantive Law, they are paying for attachment fee. Yet, in their program, there is no attachment, but they are paying for attachment. In Faculty of Arts, They are also paying for attachment, yet there is no full year attachment. So we are seeing that many of our money is going for no justifiable reason, and there is no transparency and accountability in how and what that money is going to work. So these are some of the challenges that we are facing. There is poor sanitation in some hostels. This has caused the outbreak of diarrhea, which caused the plethora of students to have running stomachs because of poor sanitation. Also, we have witnessed that the students are being excluded from some special practices they have to engage in. For example, last year we witnessed some students from Zinas who were disqualified illegally to contest in SRC election. Those students were being accused of having a pending court case. Yet, according to the SRC rules, SRC election rules, and also the constitution of the University of Zimbabwe, the one who is supposed to be barricaded to contest in an SRC election is the one who have a pending court case. Is not the one who have a pending court case, but the one who has a previous criminal record, or the one who have set for a disciplinary hearing at the University of Zimbabwe, not the one with a pending court case. Because having a pending court case doesn't mean that you are guilty. These are just accusations, and accusations doesn't mean guilty, but it's just a matter of being accused. So students were barricaded to contest. And what is so said concerning that matter is that after they were disqualified, when they went to court, they said the state is now withdrawing the charges that they were facing, yet they were excluded from participating in an SRC election. So that is a clear indication which totally reveals that the university is afraid of the students. The university is afraid of Zinas. They don't want people who challenge them. They want to put their surrogates, their puppets of the course to masquerade in SRC, drinking coffee and biscuits there, forgetting to save the interests of the students. So that's why they always panic when they see us wanting to contest in SRC. They will be in great panic. Why? Because they know and they are clearly aware that we mean serious business when we are to enter into SRC. We have a mission to accomplish, a mission to make sure that the education of each and every student is moving in a clockwise direction.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chikwena. You mentioned the issue of fees hikes. Have you tried to engage the authorities, and what did they say about that?
We as the student representatives, we believe in 3 Ds. The first D is dialogue. The second D is debate. Then the third D is demonstration. So as people who are civilized, we believe that there are some progressive, amicable and respectful ways of solving issues. So whenever any matter arises, we always look for diplomatic ways of alleviating that problem. So when the fees was hiked last year, we diplomatically engaged the admin in order to make sure that that issue of astronomical fees hike was rectified. But when the first D of engaging the admin in a diplomatic way failed, that is when we apply the second D, which is debate. Because as a civilized generation, as intellectuals, as barometers of class consciousness, we believe in debating facts. We believe in debating points, you know, a bit of thoughts, a bit of ideas, a bit of facts. So we engaged in the battle of facts with the admin. Then that is second D of debate also failed. That is when we applied the third D, which is a demonstration. We demonstrated against the fees hikes at the University of Zimbabwe. We demonstrated, we even banned the lectures to continue. But all those actions, we didn't reap anything from those actions because the university remained adamant to the demands of the students. That is when we carried that matter to the High Court. And that matter, we probably won it with an immediate effect. But the university itself, they also became egocentric to the court order. They disrespected the court order and they continued with their issue of hiking fees. They even hiked the fees even more than what they did. So we tried by all means to make sure that fees was going to be reduced, but all our actions, there was no remedy.
Okay, thank you. Well, we understand that, or you understand that when Zimbabwe attained its independence, one of the goals was to have a free and affordable education. And recently, Zimbabwe celebrated 44 years of independence. What do you have to say about maybe what the freedom fighters fought for to attain independence and what is happening in the education sector in Zimbabwe?
It's not yet uhuru. It's not wise to talk about independence without a right to affordable and accessible education. It's not wise to talk about independence without freedom of expression. It's not wise to talk about independence without freedom to vote or freedom to participate in SRC election. You know, we are going back to the ancient era or to the colonial era whereby there was a bottleneck system in terms of how education was being accessed. That is, the whites were only the one who have access to proper education. Right now, that is where we are going. We are rewinding the clock back to the colonial era, whereby only the rich people used to have access to education. And it is happening in our days now. Because we actually know that there are things which were central on the sanctity of the liberation struggle. Those guys, they were fighting for affordable education. That's point number one. They were fighting for freedom of expression. That's point number two. They were fighting for sacrosanct of the vote. One man, one vote. Equal distribution of land and other things. But those things, we are seeing that they are being, people are still limping, or people are still living as if they are in a colonial era. So it shows that the sanctity of the liberation struggle is not even respected. So there is a need for us to fight for the independence we are craving for. There is a need for the young people to perform their duty to enlighten the society, their duty to conscientize the society, to say to the society, see, the gallant citizens of our people, they fight for affordable education. But right now, we are not having access to affordable education. Many of us, they are dropping off out of education because they are failing to afford this tuition fee, which was hiked by the institution. Also, our parents themselves who are paying for our tuition fee, they are earning peanuts. They are earning salaries in Zimbabwean dollar. Yet our fees was pegged in United States dollar. So where do they expect that money to come from? Where still our parents are earning money in Zim dollar, yet the fees was pegged in United States dollar, and they expect us to pay in United States dollar. It shows that it's a havoc and it's a disorder at the university which needs to be corrected. And if you don't liberate ourselves, no one is going to liberate us, because those people who fight for the freedom of Zimbabwe, they liberated themselves and they understood that they have a future to fight for. They have a destiny to reach. That's why they fought. Also, as this generation, we also have a destiny to reach. Therefore, we need to fight for our own destiny, because they are the authors of our future.
That was Mr. Darlington Jigwena, one of the students, leaders at the University of Zimbabwe. He has been talking to us of various challenges that the students have been facing. Join us again as we continue to give you such programs. Don't forget to follow us. We are SlyMedia TV, building bridges.
This is Yobuda TV, Hakudima CV, Sly Media TV, and this sport and dream street in the zone and up news in Daka wonder name of views. Sly Media TV, man, they change my dreams. Sly, yeah, Sly Media, Sly, yeah, Sly Media, Sly, yeah, Sly Media, Sly, yeah, Sly Media. Kuchinja vision, yeah, ghetto youth, Kuchinja life, yeah, ghetto youth. Kutipa nzira semageto youth, kutipa gwarara mangwana rakanaka. Sly, yeah, Sly Media.